Who's that girl? What she make? What she do? She make art, she make noise, she be doing stuff. She do too much, just leave make noise.
I'm sick of thinking about this election. So I'm gonna draw a new flag. And it's gonna be a flag that's representative of the people I want. What I want for this country. I won't say the people I want in this country. That sounds a little genocidal. Yeah. But how I want this country to be represented. I don't know why I'm speaking in a southern accent. I'm not southern. Now look at this. Alright, so this is where I am being lazy and I'm basically just pulling from a drawing that I had started in the past. Didn't really know what to do with her, but thought that the colors on her was cute. And I might come back to her to do something with her and not just use her for a palette. But for right now, girl, you getting used for a palette. I'm sorry. And I thought it would be perfect for making this flag drawing. And I'm deciding to do like a little rectangle, fitting that in, and basically fitting it in like a rectangular flag shape. Decided on the purple for the backdrop. It's way more deep purple than it looks on screen right now. But I think I'll have like a little thing down the corner. Yep, there we go. The little thing down in the corner for us to follow along with. So we're going to try to follow, the Raggedy USA flag. Whatever, Bessie Ross. You did what you did, but it could be a little bit more. You can have some more pizzazz. I'm trying to make it as different as possible while still kind of looking like our thing. Oh wow, I just got a notification that Chief of Staff tested positive for coronavirus. I hope they choke me. Anyway, so we're going in, adding some little boopity-boops, some little designs. I honestly had no plan. Normally I would go in with some sort of like sketch. I didn't know what I was doing for this. Again, this was just more like, let me do something creative to not focus, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm doing flowers, and then I had a brilliant idea. It's my flag. I should do boobies. Boobies are the best thing in the world. I should do boobies. So I'm doing all types of different boobies on my flag. All the titties, all shapes, all colors, all styles. Because this is the flag in my artistic vision. In my artistic style, recreated to be, more blackly black, more queerity queer. Then it should have more femme. It should have some titties on it. So I'm just recreating those titties, duplicated it, reversed it so it feels like it's a little bit mixed up. And then I'm just gonna add on to that titty row. I had some trouble with these last few titties because I realized that I was just making the same shapes over and over again. And so I was like, okay, I can do this little W-y, droopy type of titty, which are more reminiscent of what I have going on out here in these streets. That might be TMI. But with the last titty, I was like, okay, I want some darker titties. But I just could not nail the shape. I had to go and research titties, titty shapes. Which is not the weirdest thing I've ever had to research for our art project. So, yeah, I felt okay about that. And so once I figured out what I wanted to do, I narrowed it down to this U shape, like a more more like drop titty, a drop earring type of titty. But you'll see later down the line, I feel like it didn't really fit. I don't know. I was like, I want something more to add to it. And so then I got an idea that I won't talk about. So now I'm just recreating the other design elements. Again, I'm trying to be kind of similar to, the Raggedy Daggedy US flag, but different. Its own little spin on it, And so now I'm just making everything clipped into the actual horizontal shape, filling in this little square. It's actually more green than blue, as you can see in the bottom corner. Like, but if you just look at the main video, it just kind of looks like it's blue when it ain't. Adding in some waves because again, we don't have to, you know, stick to the norm. I'm adding in some detail work, doing some details on the titties, on the nipples. And this is where I was just really like with that last titty, like, I don't think that's quite right, but it's not the time to address that yet. Hate to drop out any type of titty shape. It's not what this is about. It's just about rounding stuff out. And eventually I was like, let me revisit this because I feel like there's a better way. And I really wanted to in some way have some sort of like trans representation. So I was like, let me do somebody with like a top surgery. Let me represent those type of titties. Or I don't know if trans men still call it them titties. I call everybody titties though. Male, female, non-binary, whatever, titties. But I guess pecs would be the term then. I don't know. Either way, I wanted them represented, and I feel like it made everything feel rounded out. And it's like, yeah, save the best for last. So then I was like, okay, now what do I do in this? Because I don't want no busted stars. So here's where I'm like pausing and research and think about this because I really don't know what I want to have in replacement of stars, but I just know I don't want them. And finally, I was just like, girl, you love some fist, girl. It came down between mouths and fists, like mouths shouting or like sticking out their tongues or fists. And I finally was just like, let me do some fists because, it might be a little bit too sexual starting to see like mouths with their tongues out being like, ow, right next to some titties. Yeah, so here's my busted fist. This is the perfect part. Like, I can make it all perfect or whatever, but don't you worry, it's going to shrink down and it won't matter once it shrinks down. This is my artistic interpretation of a fist. I know up close and big it looks like a mess. Like the fingers ain't doing what they supposed. The fingers ain't even giving what they were supposed to be given, But that's okay. Because once it shrinks down, you'll see the vision. You will see, you gotta follow the vision once you see them shrink down. So I'm doing a few different types of fists with different colors, different color fingernails. And then for the last one, I was like, let me deviate a little bit. And and this is where I flip y'all all off. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoy watching it as I flip you off. So that I can make my middle finger fist. So yeah, going in, doing that, doing a rough sketch of it. All of this is for fun, guys. It's just for play. I don't actually mean fuck y'all. I kind of do mean fuck half of the US right now. But I don't mean fuck y'all, So here we go. Just adding in some like detail work, some rings, some fun things. And then I'm taking so long on this little ring. My word. Oh no, I'm just going in and like cleaning it up a little bit. And we'll eventually shrink this down. What is happening? Oh yeah, this is where I realized I fucked up. Because I drew both of the hands on the same layer, and I wasn't supposed to do that. I wanted them to be on their own layers so that I could have more control over the size. So I just had to, do my little Procreate magic and get to work. Get to getting. And then I'm going to shrink them down. I didn't have a particular number. I think there ended up being like 8. Yeah, there ended up being around 8. Around 8 little fist things. yeah, so this is where I just basically cheat, have those, duplicate the layer, reverse them, and then, maybe change the color slightly so it doesn't just like automatically feel like, it's just me being Lele, lazy Leah. I'm sorry, y'all. If you made it through this video to this point after all the talk about boobies, I commend you. And so here's where I get to do my fun part, which is like more of my distinctive, I guess, artistic style at this point in terms of illustration, where I go in with these mosaic tile type of strokes. I just really like how they look. It's been my thing for the past few months, where I like how they just like make everything more fun and playful. I think they just add a lot to illustrations, and make stuff feel more unique to me and my style. And again, this is my flag, my USA flag, so I wanted my little tile-y things. So yeah, this is where I go in and just add probably way too much detail, but again, this channel is called Leah Makes Noise. I make noisy art. It's pretty loud stuff. Not really understated at all. And I am consider myself a maximalist. So that definitely comes out in the type of illustrations and work that I typically do. Here's where I was like, oh, it'd be cool to have some sort of like leaf type of thing. But you see, I'm going to make a mistake in 3, 2, 1. And you see, they look like little swimmers. They look like sperm. So I had to get rid of them because that's not what this flag about. And then I did my loop-de-loops because I was like, loop-de-loops can work. Everybody like a good loop-de-loop. So that's what I did. So I did a good little loop-de-loop video. Wow. Loop-de-loop design. And I'm just adding more design, more detailed work. Just adding some little white, tan work. And I'm just going in, thinking about other things, deciding, that don't really work. And instead, I'm just connecting the yellows. Pretty fun. And the thing about this, it was nice to just like not think about everything that's going on. Have a little bit of escape. Normally I'm not a perfectionist, but I'm definitely more particular when I'm doing these types of illustrations and drawings. Typically, like normally I would have cleaned up a lot of this stuff, but that's not what this is about today. It's about just having a moment to, imagine a world where the U.S. flag could legit look like this. It'd be we kind of already in the crazy part of the world. What could get crazier than this? How fun would this be if we just rode into the UN with a flag that looked like this? So yeah, I'm like I just said, I'm a maximalist, yo. This is not, if you're looking for like the minimalist, the Marie Kondo of design, I ain't your girl. I make loud, crazy patterns and do all the colors and all the things. But I swear sometimes it's right for some people. It's just not right for everybody. Again, it's my flag. I would love to see other people's flags. And I would encourage any other artists who see this to, take this idea and run with it. Like, what would your version and your artistic style of the U.S. flag look like? So I'm using my fancy paper to print it out. That's the real test on how things look, but I messed up. And you see they little baby thumbnails, basically. They're a little bit too small, but I think they'll still make cute little prints to give away to folks. So if you want one, be one of the first 5 people to comment, and I'll send you one. But I made bigger ones, and those I think I'm gonna sell the bigger ones or put them on my Society 6 shop. But I want everybody, especially other artists, to make their own versions of the US map. Maybe that's a fun thing to do while we're waiting for whatever the results of the selection will be. Subscribe if you like this video. I'll be making similar stuff, I guess. And thanks for watching.